Hello guys, so today I'm gonna be taking you on how to create your own vector art tutorial. So first things first, you gotta open Photoshop. Open you guys have. Create a new file, uh, probably a 1080 by 1080, best for Instagram and other posts. If you have a reference photo, just drag it onto the Photoshop layer. And for me, I'm trying to mask out the area that I'll be drawing, which is only the head and the neck. So you can pick a selection tool and just cut what you want. So I'd created a layer for the colors I'll be using. You can use any colors you want, just make sure you have a highlight and some gradients of the shadow. So the thing you're going to do is create a new layer, and as you have seen, take the pen tool and just try to outline over what you want your final product to look like. So after that, just pick a color and right click using the pen tool and fill the color in there. Create another layer. So our first layer will be our skin, then we now create another layer on top of it, which will now be the shadows and the stuff. So to make sure that no excess elements are shown outside the skin, you hold down Alt right between the two layers and it will connect them together. So right now I unchecked my skin layer and I'm using the reference photo. I'm trying to sketch out the dark shadows first, but this time it's just a light dark, not the dark thing, just to give me an idea of what is happening. Yeah, so if you have a nice reference photo, that would be good for you. If you don't, art is all about your imagination, so just do what you gotta do. So at this point I was done with the left side, so I chose a tone that is a bit darker than the skin. Yeah, you can play around with that. Then I created another layer for the hair. This time I just jumped into the hair because I realized that if I do the hair first, I would actually get a better picture of what the final product would be. This is actually a good thing, don't always try to focus on the same thing all the time. It might look off to you at some point. So sorry, but if you saw them as I was sketching using the pen tool, I accidentally left the mark. So what you do to go back to the outline, just hover over the last point, an icon will appear, you just click on it and you'll continue using the pen tool. So now I'm using the darkest of all, which is now for the hair. So yeah, if I check the skin layer, I can almost see what the final product will be. So it's a good idea to just keep on imagining what your final product will be. So I'm creating another layer. This one now is for the facial hair, the eyebrows, and for the beards, mustaches, for those guys who have. So you can just do a rough, so at this point it's just a rough sketch of what you want your final product to be. Don't be too perfect on it, because most of the time if you are too perfect, you might spend a day or more doing it. So for me at this point, it takes me almost an hour to do a facial portrait. That is just the face and part of the neck. Yeah, that is just when I'm a simple artwork like this one. So as I said, we will be going through the basics first of all, at least just to get an idea of how you can make your own cartoons and your own vector art. Then later on, we're going to take our journey up a notch, get all Picasso and stuff. So at this point, I guess most of you know how to use the pen tool. I'm sorry if you guys, I didn't mention that earlier. So while you hold and drag the pen tool to make a curve, I think that's easy to understand. So right now I've taken the light shadows, if I may call it, in the hair, in the skin, and it almost looks like an image. So here I was trying to do the eyes. For me, what I do with the eyes, I just put a white mask over, then I try to color over the white. And I might say this time it didn't go as I expected, because as you can see from my reference photo, I think a filter was used that way. It's a bit bluish and it's hard for me to tell the different colors to use. But art is all about your imagination. So whenever you hit a point like mine where you don't know what to do, just you can just leave it at some point. Just leave it and you come back to it later. That's what I do. So for the pupils, I'm trying to use a shape tool, a circle shape. And as most of you guys might realize, my method of doing the vector arts is a bit different from everybody else, as I don't create my shadows and other layers using shape tools. I just create them by believing in my pen tool expertise, because it feels more artistic, but I'm not judging am I? So for me, the eyes were a bit off, if I might say, but we'll see what happens. Wow. As you guys can see, it didn't come out as I expected, but when you're drawing, you never judge it too early, because the final product is what you're after, not what it looks like now, because there's always room to edit over and over and over again. So at this point I knew it was off, but I just kept on trying, just hoping somewhere it would turn out as I dreamt it would. I tried cutting off some of the edges, but I don't think that helped actually. But the problem at this moment was I was focusing too much on the details, while when I zoomed out I realized the eyes were actually too small to be noticed. So I just decided I'll just stop doing the eyes at the moment and do other things. So right now I jumped to the mouth. And for the mouth, it's a bit different, or a bit difficult to color, because some people have pinkish, yellowish, brownish mouths. So what to just start off is using the pen to just create a path or a shape of the mouth you want to create. So at this point you can be all artistic as you want, create a smiley, create a wink, or just put a slight dash. But just for learning purposes, I just followed what the reference had. So I just use a reddish, orangish color to go with at first. It's not the final color, but I just had to do this quickly. So now using the same format I told you guys about, trying to merge a layer with another. I created another layer for now the mouth shadow. So hovering between that layer and the mouth, at the middle there, your mouse should change, and when you click it, it will attach itself to the mouth layer. That way, whenever you select something that is off, it will never show. It will almost be like a perfect cut. So I knew it was not perfect, but you just continue. So right now I'm adding some highlights from the same tone as the mouth, but a bit lighter. Since the light is coming from our left to our right, that's why the highlight is on our left side, while the shadows are on our right side. So right now I'm adding some highlights on top, to give it like the Kardashian feel. But basically, as long as you don't get tired of working with a lot of layers, you will be okay with vectors or Vexels, or any type of cartoon that requires you to use a mouse. Because the trick with using a mouse is that you don't get the same luxury as someone using a stylus to blend colors in. So you just have to know which type of colors coming together, and the best way to do that is when you have your color picker on, just try to stay in the same range of color. See, like if your skin tone is brown, just when you want to add in a shadow, just pick the same brown, but then go a bit lower on the color picker, so it will pick a brown tone but a darker version now. And the other trick is when you're doing different elements, like let's say there's a mouth, and right now I'm doing a nose, to make sure that the highlights of that particular region stay within that region. Remember to use the alt stuff. Okay, just remember to attach the layers together. I don't know what that thing is called, but always remember, like hover between the two layers that you want to join, and that way you'll always try to know which highlights go with which parts, which shadows goes with which parts. That way your work will be easier. So right now I'm adding some shadow elements to the ears. Yeah, and this time I'm just being a bit sketchy, at least just to have a nice feel of what I want to happen. Thing is, don't get too attached to one element. Like here, you might finish a part and see it's not perfect and you want to redo it. With art, nothing will ever be perfect, because art is art. When you have the eye, you always want everything to be as perfect as you want it to be, and eventually you'll always end up remaking the same thing over and over until you never get pleased. So the thing is, don't get too attached to a particular place, just try to use your own imagination. So right now I'm trying to figure out where the shadows align, under the mouth, under the nose tip, and for purposes not known to anybody, I did not take up any art lessons. This is just a self-taught, just looking up at what other people do, getting a bit of inspiration. So right now I'm trying to show shadow of where the neck and the chin, or people call it the jawline, where the jawline starts and ends. So I'm using a darker tone of the brown, and in that way you can actually see his jawline, and I didn't have to use any outlines or anything. It's just the colors themselves. As long as you can blend in your colors nicely, you'll always have an easier way of working out what needs to be where, and in doing so you'll have a nice time creating your art, and it will always seem authentic at some point. So whenever you're done with the section, always try to zoom in and zoom out to get a better perspective of what you do. Some other people recommend you to flip the canvas, from horizontally, to try to see it from a different perspective, from the right to the left. But for me, I'm okay with that. Photoshop users, those who don't know how to zoom in, zoom out, just hold on Alt and using the scroll wheel to do the rest. Oh yeah, and whenever you're filling in using a pen tool, you'll always need to delete the part you drew. Okay, that might be the only downside to drawing with this method, but eventually it will become a bit easier for you guys. So never give up. art.hat. I hope that made sense. So I'm creating different groups for the different elements. I have a group for the nose, another group for the mouth, another group for the skin, and then I'm trying to add in a fade away element to the hair, that fade away vibe. So I'm creating a layer on top of the hair and doing the same attachment vibe I told you guys about. So this way, whenever I try to place in a gradient, it will only affect the hair and nothing else. So to your left, you can use a gradient picker or a gradient tool, and I'm using the colors from his shadow to his hair, so it looks like it's blending, or it's a nice bubbles cut. With that settled, I think this is the point I went back to the eyes, and for me, I did see the eyes were not as perfect as I wanted, but the trick is never giving up. For me, I decided I won't delete them and start over again, but for this time I'll just try to make what I think would look nice for the character and not go with what the reference had, because I realized that without the reference had I would never get what I wanted. So I'm putting shadows of brown over the layer of the eyes, then using the fill tool I'm lowering it a bit so it looks like it's a shadow of brown, then adding more layers over the eyes, trying to fill out that white spot and make it not visible anymore. At least somebody can get an idea of where the eyelids going and the shadows formed from the light and stuff. Yeah. think finally I was okay with what the eyes came out as, but to at least hide some of the mistakes I made, I would further go in and add in another layer of dark brown highlights. So this would try to hide some of the minor mistakes you could make. Just try to add in some more shadows over near the area you're trying to make, so that way when you scale it out, it doesn't look so terrible. So right now I'm just trying to align it closely against the other lighter shadow. So I'm then going ahead and add in some darker shadows. So this is the darkest shadow I have, and all these shadows that I'm going to be using on the skin, I attach them to the skin, as you can see to the right hand side, lower bottom right. I have from the skin, I have the light shadow, which is the first shadow, then I have a dark shadow, which is now the medium shadow, then I have the darkest, which is what I'm using right now. So using the darkest shadow, I'm trying to cover up some of the mistakes or some of the flaws somebody else might see. Here, that, never let yourself be too perfect with it. If you're afraid something didn't come out as well as you wanted, try to correct it early. Don't always not care so much. So I'm adding some eye bags and some brow shadows from the light, and just to give it a sense of darkness around the eyes. So eventually I ended up changing the color of the lips. If you can see, it's a bit pinkish reddish, not as the first color we had. So for that you can just change the color to whatever you want. Maybe you want a character with blue lips, so depending on you. So I'm trying to add in the dark shadows to the lips, just give it a popping feel. So right now for the fun part, the highlights. So for the highlights, this will make you as an artist, it's just like your cup of enjoyment. So the good thing with the Vexel or vector art is that you don't have to be too precise, like you don't have to show the nose line or the cheekbones or the brows or the shadows. You just have to give people an idea of what goes where, and you're all good to go. Because everybody has their own imagination, so it's your duty to just tap into people's imaginations and let them see what you want them to see. So I'm using the highlights to place in the points where the light hits the most. So as I told you, the light comes from our left to our right. So that way, I hope you guys can see the idea that is going on. So I'm adding some more highlights to the shoulders. And depending on the highlights, you can make your own style out of it. Different illustrators use different highlight techniques. So I'm officially calling you guys illustrators from now. And you don't have to do too much of the highlights, because if you do too much of it, it will stop looking like highlights and look more like another color you're using. So we don't want that to happen. So just be composed with the highlights. So I think for most of the parts I'm okay. Oh yeah, so this is like the best part ever, highlighting the eyes. So the different ways to highlight the eyes. So for me, I'm going with an anime style. Just put in a circle that's almost out of the pupil. Other people, you might prefer just drawing some lines or whatever, but this worked well for me. Just simple but works. There were some areas that were not as, so I went back in and changed some of the stuff. So there is almost persona. This is like where you just put in your own style, your own filters and stuff. So I had grouped all the elements together, so I'm creating a copy of the group. Control J to create a copy, then right click the one of the copies and match the group, then double click on that layer and go into the select. You can modify and expand the selection to create an outline. So I'm creating another layer on top of my image and adding some gradient. Then using the blending modes, I'm using the lighten mode. So I'm going to give it a professional look. So finally I'm adding some shadow to the character, and